During the 1960s, Eastside High School thrives as one of the most successful educational institutions in Paterson, New Jersey. Joe, a beloved teacher at the school, captivates his students by imparting essential knowledge with a blend of kindness and engaging competitions. However, his tranquil classroom is disrupted one morning by Frank, a fellow teacher, who informs him of a union executive board meeting from which he has been excluded. Infuriated, Joe barges into the meeting, expressing his frustration at the lack of support for his reform initiatives and the tendency to surrender to government pressure for silence. Consequently, the board decides to transfer him to another school. 2 decades later, Eastside High has descended into chaos, earning the reputation of a cauldron of violence. The once prestigious building now appears dilapidated, overrun by unruly students who exhibit rampant bullying, violence, and substance abuse. Academic standards have plummeted, posing a threat to Mayor Botman's political ambitions. Frank, now the school superintendent, and Mr. Rosenberg, the school board attorney, recognize the necessity of reinstating Joe. Despite the mayor's reluctance, he concedes to the decision. Approaching Joe, Frank, and Rosenberg offer him the position of principal at East Side. Initially hesitant, Joe rebuffs the offer, citing the mayor's self-serving motives. However, Frank persuades him by highlighting the ineffectiveness of Joe's previous methods and the need for change. The following day, Joe assumes the role of principal, wasting no time in implementing his authoritative approach. He mandates strict disciplinary measures, including identifying and addressing students engaged in criminal activities, utilizing detention as a means of community service, and reassigning faculty roles. During a school assembly, Joe confronts troublemakers and instills fear of consequences for misbehavior. Expelling the most disruptive students, he assures the remaining students of their safety and emphasizes the importance of academic success. In a meeting with parents, Joe remains resolute despite opposition, emphasizing the necessity of addressing misconduct to preserve a conducive learning environment. He clarifies that he expelled 300 students to safeguard the remaining 2,700, driven by a promise to restore the school's integrity. Although his speech garners widespread parental support, Liana remains resentful. The next day, Joe encounters Sams, a previously expelled student, who pleads innocence. Unconvinced, Joe confronts Sams atop the school roof, denouncing his deception and urging him to reconsider destructive behavior. Joe's stern warning prompts Sams to vow improvement, earning him a second chance contingent on future conduct. During lunch, Joe engages with students, offering guidance and praise. He publicly rebukes Sams and his peers for unkempt appearance and disruptive behavior, enforcing discipline by compelling them to sing the school song. Demonstrating his uncompromising stance, Joe penalizes Darnell for breaching protocol. Joe implements a new rule requiring immediate compliance with singing the school song, leading to a clash with music teacher Elliot over conflicting priorities. Disregarding her concerns, Joe dismisses Elliot and cancels the choir concert to prioritize test preparation, appointing Mrs. Powers as her replacement. Subsequently, Joe faces resistance from Darnell and Vice Principal Joan, who challenge his methods and decisions. Unfazed, Joe maintains his assertive approach, dismissing Darnell and disregarding Joan's counsel. As the students undertake practice tests, Joe anxiously anticipates results, dispatching Joan to expedite their delivery. However, the school's tranquility is shattered when a former student launches a violent attack in the cafeteria, exposing a security breach. In response to the security breach, Joe swiftly orders all school doors to be locked and chained. Later, he encounters Kanisha, who is struggling academically due to her unstable living situation. Determined to assist her, Joe visits Kanisha's mother, who reveals her challenges as a teenage parent battling addiction. Joe pledges support in securing a better life for Kanisha, contingent on her mother's commitment to providing stability and encouragement for her studies. News of the secured doors prompts backlash, with Liana lodging a formal complaint to the school board. Frank admonishes Joe for his unconventional actions, warning of growing opposition led by Liana and supported by the fire chief. Frank urges Joe to reconcile with Elliot and Darnell, emphasizing the importance of mutual respect in leadership. Despite Darnell's reinstatement, tensions persist. When the fire chief arrives with the press, Joe confronts him forcefully, further alienating Joan, who voices her concerns to no avail. Ray's departure from the school disappoints Joe, highlighting ongoing challenges. Encountering Sams and his friends misbehaving, Joe discovers they have learned a harmonious rendition of the school song from Powers, prompting him to commend her and adopt the new version school-wide. Disappointment follows when practice test results reveal a low score of 33%, indicating the need for urgent improvement. Gathering all the teachers in the gym, Joe attributes the poor test results to their inefficiency, demanding increased effort. Despite initial resistance to weekend programs, Joe proposes a plan to visit students' homes, engaging parents directly to enhance involvement, even offering adult literacy courses. In the ensuing weeks, both teachers and students intensify their preparation for the upcoming test under Joe's active supervision. However, Liana's dissatisfaction persists, prompting her alliance with the fire chief to confront Mayor Botman directly. Despite Frank and Rosenberg's defense, Botman capitulates to Liana's demands, agreeing to Joe's dismissal in exchange for her political support. Unbeknownst to Botman, Rosenberg overhears their conspiracy. Rosenberg alerts Joe, prompting a cover plan to evade Botman's impending arrest. With the teacher's cooperation, Joe orchestrates the removal of the illegal chains upon the fire chief's arrival. Subsequently, Joan attempts to discuss the reading program's progress with Joe, only to be dismissed and belittled. Frustrated by Joe's lack of support and respect, Joan requests to transfer, condemning his authoritarian leadership style. Acknowledging Joan's grievances, Joe acquiesces, presenting her with transfer papers before the school assembly the next day. In a rallying speech, Joe urges the students to defy the school's negative reputation and demonstrates gratitude towards the teachers, notably crediting Joan. The atmosphere becomes charged with unity as Powers leads the school in saying, "Lean on me," symbolizing their determination to overcome societal perceptions. Witnessing the school's solidarity, Joan decides to remain. On the day of the test, students approach the exam with newfound confidence, but tension mounts as Liana pushes for Joe's removal, prompting Botman to authorize the fire chief's intervention. Amidst the turmoil, Kenesha confides in Joe about her pregnancy, facing disbelief from her boyfriend. Joe offers support and promises to explore alternatives, but their conversation is interrupted by the fire chief's arrival with Liana and reporters. Joe's attempt to remove the chains leads to his arrest for violating fire codes, leaving Joan in charge. At a subsequent school board meeting, Frank defends Joe's efforts, but Liana criticizes his perceived failure based on test scores. The meeting is interrupted by students demanding Joe's release, prompting Botman to seek Joe's intervention to prevent potential violence. Despite his reluctance, Joe addresses the students, emphasizing respect for the law. As tensions ease, Joan interrupts with news of the school's passing test results, sparking jubilation. Joe defiantly tells Botman and the state to go to hell, securing his position. In a poignant conclusion, Joe oversees the graduation ceremony, imparting personalized words of encouragement to each student. The movie culminates with the students singing the school song, symbolizing their triumph and unity. Make sure to subscribe if you like the recap.